Hello and welcome to another MCO update on Ethereum. Here on the Ethereum chart, we continue to track a potential diagonal pattern to the upside here on the daily time frame, and we are tracking a 5-wave move up from the June 2022 low. And this continues to be a messy structure: wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, deep wave 4, and potentially a 5th wave unfolding right now. I have to say again, this is not a high confidence outlook, but has remained the preferred interpretation despite the deep pullback. So I continue to, I don't want to say commit to this scenario, but it continues to be the one I track primarily. All right. For various reasons. One reason is, for example, that also on the Bitcoin chart, I am tracking for one more high. Okay, that would match quite well. The other aspect is that the pullbacks remained corrective in nature. So this year is a crystal clear 3-wave move down. That move up is also 3 waves, did overshoot. Makes sense to consider that as a high B wave. From that point of view, this kind of makes more sense as an ABC pullback, right? Yeah, of course, this could be part of a very complex WXY, and then the Y wave is another ABC. I mean, that's possible. It's just that, I don't know. It doesn't make, it's just not a very probable scenario. It's not unlikely, but it's not like the most likely scenario, in my opinion. Another reason is that we are dealing here with the ETHBTC chart. You might know that one. We talked about it only a couple of days ago, and I explained to you that this could be the low in the 3rd wave, and we might see Ethereum start outperform Bitcoin for at least a short period. To confirm that further, obviously we need 5 waves, but this is, this has turned into a clear 3-wave move up, which might turn into 5 essentially again, and then we have a setup. But for now, support would be between 0.019 and 0.022. Okay, so this would be the support area that needs to hold to keep the focus on higher prices in this wave 4 bounce here on the ETHBTC chart. So this is something I'm tracking. Obviously, for those who missed previous updates, or maybe you just don't know about these, or you don't know so much about the structures we are tracking here. The idea is that ETHBTC, which is obviously the chart that helps us compare the performance of Ethereum and Bitcoin, the move to the downside, we can consider it a 5-wave move down in wave C, because C waves are always 5-wave movements. But within this, we could have formed the low in the 3rd wave. This might be a 4th wave bounce with a 5th wave to the downside still to come. Makes absolute sense. The 3rd wave was overstretched. The wave 4 bounce was overdue actually, and the resistance area is between 0.0258 and 0.0392. So this would be standard resistance for Ethereum BTC. That means in the very short term, it kind of makes sense that Ethereum is outperforming Bitcoin. And the support area is 0.019 to 0.022, which means that as long as this is holding, we can watch for further upside continuation, even if it's just a corrective rally. Now, if 5 waves form, but then I need to see a healthy sideways wave 4 and one more high in wave 5, then this could be a 5-wave move up in wave A, or maybe even something more bullish. Because A waves can be 3-wave movements or 5-wave movements, but the fact that it extended so much, it often is an indication that it's just turning into a 3-wave move and then gets a sharp correction. And then let's say if we're lucky, it's not about luck, but if things go well for Ethereum, then it can continue to grind a little higher in the short term. But again, we saw that as a we saw that as a potential. So again, that kind of was another reason that this outperformance, even just short term, could occur, and therefore the daily chart outlook remains overall bullish, even though, and this is now where I talk about the problems of the structure, even though this move here is simply a diagonal pattern, we're not dealing with an impulse. Okay, we're not dealing with an impulse, and because we are not dealing with an impulsive structure, you just cannot, yeah, you just cannot trust it. Okay, that's the thing. Because diagonals consist of corrective subwaves, and corrective subwave structures often change, they often morph, they consist of ABC patterns, or they can sometimes they consist of WXY patterns, ABCs, well, it's sometimes even triangles in the subwaves, super messy. But again, with three-wave movements, they like to morph and change, and it's just fragile. So as you can see, we also only have 3 waves up from a too deep wave 4 low. So that's the problem. That 4th wave was too deep. So because the move up is in 3 waves, it does keep the door open for a deeper retracement in the blue count, that the bear market never finished. But again, that would require a clear break of support, and that has not happened at this point. So let's take a look at the shorter time frame for Ethereum. And here on the shorter time frame, the idea was still that we could get another high. I mean, we talked about that only a few days ago, right? That in this ABC structure, which again is that 3-wave move I just shared with you on the daily time frame, we're tracking here an ABC structure to the upside, and that C wave would be 5 waves. And the idea was it could get into this region. Yeah, perfect. And then from here, a B wave pullback. So support for the B wave. If we get a deep retrace, a deep B wave pullback from here, then it's $2,045 to $1,584. That would be standard support. And yeah, as long as we're holding that B wave support area, the focus would be on higher prices. So that is also the main support area that would need to be broken to the downside to confirm that blue scenario further. Okay, a decisive break below 1,584 is needed, followed by a break below the 7th or 8th of April low, which is located at $1,385. So that takes us now to the C wave to the upside, which has reached all targets. The bottom line is we have reached the next fib level at 2,594. The question is, okay, does it mean the top is in? Not necessarily. I have no top on the ETHBTC chart, and I have no top here on the ETHUSD chart. We've just reached the next upside Fibonacci level, and we have 5 waves up in wave C, which is perfect, what we wanted to see. Key is now to understand that this 5th wave can easily still extend higher, of course, and I will not confirm a top until we get a 5-wave decline and break below, well, at least the last swing low, I would say. I mean, I keep that micro support area on the chart. To be fair, it's still relevant. It's still relevant, even though I can already call it 5 waves up. But there's always that risk that maybe this is the 3rd, this is the 4th, this is the 5th, but I would only clearly favor that if the decline into the support area is clearly corrective in nature. So if we really see a 3-wave move to the downside. But instead, I just leave that on the chart. I leave the labeling as it is to point out that, let's say, the requirements for this move up are fulfilled. The risk has increased. We could be in a topping structure, but there is no sign of that yet, okay? So I don't see exhaustion. Sorry, I don't see exhaustion. I don't see a break of support. I do not even see a 5-wave move to the downside. In fact, the pullback remains corrective in nature, which means we are dealing with 3-wave movements to the downside, which means it keeps the door open for higher. Because what if this is just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah? But this is where we're getting really to the nano level, where honestly it doesn't really make much sense to label it. But this is something that, my thought process, just using those labels to indicate my thought process. This is a 3-wave move down. It's definitely high enough to be an internal wave 4, which could still keep the door open for one more high that could stretch to maybe even $2,775. I'll definitely keep you updated about that. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the membership. Today at 5 p.m. UTC, we've got our member live stream. Do that once a week. It's always a great opportunity to connect, ask questions, put requests in. We normally cover around 40 coins in their live stream. I can never cover them all, I have to say that, but you have a really good chance to get your coin covered. I always answer all questions though. So check it out if you're interested. That's at 5 p.m. UTC today. But as a gold member, you get a lot of other benefits like learning materials, tutorials, additional updates, intraday updates, TradingView live charts, which are probably the biggest benefit of the entire membership. But yeah, check it out if you're interested. I wish you a great Sunday. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.